and small towns. The communities looked rustic compared to the huge cities of Earth. But the longer Liam lived with Ondry, the more he understood Rownt had amazing and powerful technology. Add to that Liam's fears for Diallo, the human who Command had sent to try to manage the Rownt, and this audience was giving Liam heartburn. Ondry wound his tail around Liam's leg and tugged on him. When Liam looked up, Ondry watched with wide eyes. Liam gave him a small smile before leaning closer, and that must have been assurance enough, because Ondry huffed and curled his fingers around the back of Liam's neck. When Ondry started to gently stroke the place where Liam's shoulder and neck met, Liam put his arm around Ondry's waist. Ondry had such strength, and yet Liam never had cause to fear it. Ondry might not be the first lover Liam had submitted to, but he was the only one Liam trusted to protect him. "When will the audience start?" Diallo asked softly. Clearly she didn't understand that the grandmothers were already judging them, and that negotiations had begun long before anyone spoke. Ondry ignored her, but then she had nearly gotten Liam killed, so Liam wasn't surprised. Ondry had promised to be angry for a few centuries, and he seemed to be living up to his promise. While Liam should encourage Ondry to forgive and forget, especially since Diallo had apologized, it felt good to know someone loved him enough to be irrationally furious. "It already has," Liam said. He hoped she didn't make a bad first impression. She wanted to prevent a war, a goal Liam approved of, and she had the education and rank to get Earth to listen to her. She was a good person, and he didn't know many of those. He sometimes wondered if he would have a different view of humans if so many of the people he had met weren't struggling with either poverty or war or fear of death. Maybe it was the struggle that turned people into something less noble. Diallo moved to the closest bench and sat where she could see the eldest grandmother. A number of the younger grandmothers shifted closer to the elder. In true Rownt style, the eldest began the conversation without any warning or signal. "Your people have shown a reluctance to engage us in conversation." The statement was such a simple one. However, danger lurked in every word. The refusal to engage in conversation was illogical, and being illogical was, by definition, dangerous. Diallo spoke, her voice slow and cautious. "My people are reluctance." She corrected the grandmother while showing off her own poor Rownt grammar. She was learning, but the language was difficult. "They are well aware different species sometimes struggle to communicate with one another. That is the primary reason I was sent." "Is that not the reason Liam was sent?" The eldest looked toward Liam, her eyes wide with curiosity. Ondry's fingers hesitated, and then returned to tracing small, soothing circles against Liam's skin. "My leaders do not trust Liam the way they trust me," Diallo said. That was an understatement. Liam had been sent to do little more than negotiate simple trades and facilitate the movement of goods between Rownt traders and the human base on their planet. Instead of doing his job, he had somehow managed to get involved in a personal relationship with the high-ranked trader, get himself claimed as a palteia, and end up the voice of humanity to the Rownt. Given Liam had a few issues with humanity in general, a lack of formal education, and a history of abuse, he wasn't sure he should be the voice of anyone, much less his whole species. That was especially true given he didn't like most people. One of the younger grandmothers spoke from the shadow behind a divider of light. "Do your people distrust Liam because they understand he speaks for his chilta, or have they always distrusted him?" "I'm honestly not sure," Diallo said, her voice showing no emotion, at least none Liam could detect. Who knew what the Rownt in the room might smell?